friends, this is Gemini from EduCare, and today we'll be learning about a very important topic of 10th CBSE as well as GSEB board, which is human digestive system. You know, what is the best way to learn biology? With the help of flowcharts, diagrams and tables. So today I'm here with one of the best methods, that is flowchart. Many students face difficulty in learning the human digestive system since it consists of many of the glands, organs along with the enzymes, right? So with the help of this one single flowchart, you'll be able to understand the entire human digestive system. So let's get started. Okay, so see, first I've represented all the organs with the red fonts. Fine. The functions that they perform are given beneath them, and you can simply by understanding, by tracking down this flowchart, you'll be able to understand the function that each of these organs perform. Along with that, I've also written the glands that are associated with the human digestive system. Fine. So see, our human digestive system begins from the mouth. This is also one of the questions that is frequently asked in GSEB board, that where does actually the human digestive system begin from? So it is with your mouth that the human digestive system begins. Fine. The entire pipe that runs from mouth to the anus is known as alimentary canal. Okay, the entire pathway, whatever comes along it, the food gets digested by bits and particles by particle through the entire pipe of ours. Fine. So see, first is mouth. Mouth consists of three basic components, which is the salivary glands. Salivary glands secrete saliva. Saliva में salivary amylase होता है. Amylase are a type of enzymes. So let us quickly look into what enzymes are. So enzymes basically biocatalysts होता है. Catalyst यानी कोई एक ऐसा chemical हुआ जो किसी reaction में participate नहीं करता है, सिर्फ वो उस reaction को quicken करता है. Imagine वरना एक food हमें digest करने में it would have taken months to digest a simple diet, one single diet. So enzymes help in those kind of activities. Then we have teeth in our mouth, which are responsible for grinding and chewing of a food. Tongue helps in thoroughly mixing the food with the saliva. So that is how the function of mouth is illustrated here. Next comes esophagus. From mouth, the food goes into esophagus. There are some of the movements that occur along our alimentary canal. These kinds of movement are known as peristaltic movement. So what basically are peristaltic movement? The simple contractions that happen along the gut. So what do these contractions do? They help the food to pass along the alimentary canal in one particular directions. It's only when that we are not fit that the food goes in the opposite direction. Otherwise, the food is carried on in a single direction because of those peristaltic movement. Also, one important note here, that esophagus, beneath the esophagus is epiglottis. Now, it is a form of flap which prevents the food from entering into windpipe. Otherwise, that is why it is often advised that we should not, talk while we are eating by our parents. Fine. The next comes the stomach. The food gets churned in the stomach for about 3 to 4 hours. All the juices get thoroughly mixed here. That is the reason that we feel full after we have a heavy meal like a lunch or dinner. Fine. The stomach consists of gastric juices. Gastric juices consists of three main juices. The first one is pepsin. Whatever are the enzymes, I've highlighted them and put them in square brackets so you can differentiate it from all the other kinds of juices. So the second enzyme is pepsin. Pepsin basically works on protein. Protein is hard to digest. So it breaks the protein and it converts it into amino acids that will be finally done in small intestine. One more thing, hydrochloric acid is secreted in our stomach. That is the reason many people who do not have regular eating habits often complain about acidity. So when tremendous amount of acid gets released in your stomach, that leads to the problem of acidity. Many people, in order to nullify this effect, take antacids. Okay, like soda is one example, milk of magnesia is one example, Eno, soda, these all are the examples of antacids. Fine. So they create an acidic medium, because of which the microorganisms also killed if by mistakenly we have not taken a proper food, okay, which seems good to us, but actually there are many microorganisms present in it. So hydrochloric acid kills them. Along with it, it activates the pepsin enzyme. The third is mucus. Mucus protects our stomach from the acidic medium. Okay. So when this mucus layer doesn't function properly, that is the time that you feel the effect of acid too much in your stomach. Now, after the stomach, the food passes into small intestine. Now, small intestine is the most important, part of our digestive system. It is this part where the entire digestion process comes to an end. Okay. So, if you are asked that what is the, which is the part of the alimentary canal where the digestion process takes, completely, it is small intestine. Okay. So, basically, all the, types of food material that is present, all the types of different nutrients that are present in food, like carbohydrates, then proteins, fats, in सबका digestion small intestine में ही हो जाता है. One more thing, as जब food stomach में से बाहर निकलता है, it is acidic in nature. It needs to be neutralized with a base. Okay, we know that. What is the neutralization reaction? Acid plus base gives salt plus water. So, liver secretes bile juice. This bile juice is basic in nature, which neutralizes the effect of an acid. The other one is pancreas. Pancreas is secreted to important enzymes which are trypsin and pepsin, which helps in the breaking of these food particles. You know what basically is the function of enzymes? To break down larger molecules of food into smaller ones so that they can be absorbed into our bloodstreams and can be transported to all the cells of our body. Fine. So see, intestinal enzymes intestinal enzymes are responsible for breaking of all the three important parts of our food. That is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are basically broken down into glucose. You might be well aware that glucose is responsible for all the energy that we get from our food. Fine. Then fats break down into fatty acids and glycerols. Now let me tell you, this is the most difficult type of food item which is difficult to digest. That is the reason many people who are taking a diet food, they would often eliminate this from their diet. So basically fats are difficult to diet. जैसे आप देखो kerosene और water को mix करने की कोशिश करोगे, that isn't possible, right? So similarly, fats are the most difficult nutrient that are difficult to break down. So a specific type of action is carried out in order to break these fats, and that action is known as emulsification. Okay, this emulsification of fats basically means that larger globules of fats are broken down into smaller ones. Such action is known as emulsification. Fine. And the proteins are broken down into amino acids. Now proteins are the bodybuilding food. Whenever a child is small, he's compulsory he needs to drink milk. Why is that the often trend that we follow? Just because that protein is known as a bodybuilding food. If protein isn't present in our diet, whenever you get hurt, then your new cells won't come at that particular position. So it is just because of protein that those things happen, and so protein breaks down into amino acids. After small intestine, most of the digestion gets completed in the small intestine. One more thing, there are different types of small intestine, you can say. The herbivorous organisms like cows, buffaloes have a really large small intestine. The reason behind that is because they need to digest the cellulose that is present in the outer covering, because they directly consume the plant cells. Animal cells do not have cell wall, but plant cells have cell wall. In order to digest that cell wall, they need to have a long small intestine, but we humans do not, because we eat cooked food. That is the only reason behind that. After small intestine, the food passes into large intestine, where most of amount of water is sucked in. Fine. That is the reason our body performs a really important role in not letting any of the useful items exit from our body. All the extra water that is present in our food is absorbed in the large intestine. After large intestine, the food passes into rectum, where temporarily the food is collected until it is ejected out of your bodies. And finally, from the anus, ejection takes place. So I hope with these particular organs that we have discussed, with the help of this flowchart, you're easily able to understand the human digestive system. Also, it would become quite easy for you to memorize with the help of this flowchart. Okay, so thank you.